SMH has been one of the top performing ETFs over the past decade, but it's also one of the most volatile. And if you don't understand what's behind those swings, it can feel incredible on the way up and very uncomfortable on the way down. Few areas of the market create more interest and more confusion than semiconductors do. People aren't just chasing the next hot ticker anymore. They want to understand why something works, what's actually driving those returns, and what risks come with it. Because performance alone isn't enough. Context matters. So today I want to break down one of the most talked about ETFs in the market, SMH, the VanEck Semiconductor ETF. We're going to look at what it owns, why it behaves the way it does, where the performance really comes from, and just as importantly, who it's not meant for. This isn't about convincing you to buy anything. It's about helping you evaluate a fund like this on your own, knowing what questions to ask, what trade-offs you're making, and how to separate long-term opportunity from short-term excitement. SMH is powerful, but it isn't simple, and understanding that distinction is what turns investing from guessing into a strategy. Hi, I'm Greg Hardy, and welcome back to the channel, and thank you for being here. We cover all things personal finance, investing, and building a secure financial future. So if you're serious about taking control of your money and learning something new every week, make sure to subscribe to the channel and like this video. It really helps the channel out and gets this information to more people who need it. Thank you. SMH is the VanEck Semiconductor ETF, built to provide direct exposure to global semiconductor industry. SMH is a pure play thematic ETF that focuses almost entirely on companies involved in designing, manufacturing, and supplying semiconductors, the chips that power nearly everything in the modern economy. We're talking about data centers, AI, smartphones, electric vehicles, cloud computing, gaming, defense systems, and industrial automation. None of that works without chips. SMH tracks a rules-based index, meaning companies are included based on their role in the semiconductor ecosystem, not because a fund manager thinks they're trendy or likes a particular story. That structure removes a lot of human emotion from the process, but it also means the fund leans heavily into the industry when it's working, and you feel the full impact when it's not. It doesn't dilute returns with banks, utilities, consumer staples, or energy companies. It is intentionally concentrated, and that's the point. This is not a sleep well at night fund for most people. It's a high-octane growth vehicle designed to capture the upside of one of the most critical technologies of the next several decades. What SMH owns is one of the biggest reasons it behaves the way it does. The fund is heavily concentrated in the largest and most influential semiconductor companies in the world, the businesses that sit at the center of it all. These companies have deep competitive moats, massive capital requirements that are nearly impossible to replicate, and significant pricing power when demand is strong. They're not just participants in the industry, they're the ones setting the pace, shaping innovation, and benefiting most when semiconductor cycles turn in their favor. The top holdings typically include names that you're familiar with, like NVIDIA, Taiwan Semiconductor, Broadcom, AMD, ASML, Qualcomm, Intel, and Texas Instruments. Each of these companies plays a different but essential role in the chip supply chain, from design to manufacturing to equipment to distribution. One thing that immediately stands out with SMH is concentration. A relatively small group of top holdings drives a large percentage of the fund's returns. Today, the top 3 holdings make up roughly 35 to 40% of the fund. For some investors, that sounds dangerous. In reality, it's simply how this industry works. Semiconductors are not evenly distributed. A handful of companies dominate innovation, capital spending, and market share. SMH doesn't fight that reality, it embraces it. This is not a fund that trims winners aggressively just to maintain balance. When a company like NVIDIA continues to grow earnings, expand margins, and increase its importance to the global economy, SMH allows that success to matter. That concentration is a feature, it's not a flaw, but only if you're comfortable with what comes with it. When SMH is performing well, it's usually because demand for computing power, AI, and advanced chips is strong. When it struggles, it's often because the industry is dealing with inventory gluts, capital spending slowdowns, or macroeconomic pressures. You're not buying something abstract. You're buying direct exposure to one of the most cyclical and most important industries in the world. Now, looking back over the long term, SMH's performance has been nothing short of eye-catching. Over the past decade, SMH has delivered several 100% in total returns, significantly outperforming the broader market during strong semiconductor cycles. And much of that performance has come in bursts. periods where innovation and demand line up and push earnings sharply higher. But this is where context matters. SMH is volatile. It does not move in a straight line. During market downturns or semiconductor slowdowns, drawdowns of 30 or 40% or more are not unusual. During the COVID crash in early 2020, SMH fell hard and then rebounded even harder as demand for computing, cloud infrastructure, and chips exploded. In 2022, it suffered significant declines as well because interest rates rose and valuations compressed. That's the trade-off. SMH rewards patience, not timing. It punishes emotional decision-making. If you panic sell during down cycles, you'll experience the worst of the volatility without capturing the upside that follows. This fund is best suited for investors who understand that growth is lumpy and who don't need the money anytime soon. SMH's outperformance isn't random and it isn't magic. First, the fund benefits from structural demand. Chips are no longer optional, they're foundational. And in recent years, much of that demand has been driven by the explosion in AI, data centers, and high-performance computing. And as the world becomes more digital, more automated, and more data-driven, semiconductor demand grows over time, even if it fluctuates year to year. Secondly, SMH lets winners run. When industry leaders pull ahead technologically or economically, the fund doesn't fight it. That allows compounding to actually work. And third, the rules-based structure removes emotional decision-making. There's no manager trying to predict headlines or jump in and out of trends. The fund simply reflects the industry as it exists. And finally, while SMH's expense ratio is higher than broad market index funds are, it's still reasonable for the specialized ETF. The real driver of returns here isn't the cost, it's exposure. SMH doesn't try to be clever, it stays focused, and over full cycles, that focus has paid off. This is the part that often gets skipped, and it's the most important. SMH is cyclical. Semiconductor demand rises and falls, capital spending comes in waves, earnings can swing dramatically from one year to the next. That means there will be long stretches where SMH underperforms the broader market, not because it's broken, but because the cycle is working against it. Another downside is valuation sensitivity. When interest rates rise, future earnings are discounted more heavily, and growth-heavy funds like SMH can get hit hard. And finally, SMH is not an income fund. Dividends are minimal. If you're relying on your portfolio for cash flow, this is not the tool for that job. This fund demands patience, and if you don't respect what it's designed to do, it will feel uncomfortable, sometimes for years at a time. So now let's switch gears and talk about who SMH is for. It is best suited for long-term investors who believe semiconductors will continue to play a growing role in the global economy over the next decade and beyond. This is a fund that works best as a satellite position, something that enhances growth rather than serves as the foundation of an entire portfolio. For most investors, that means an allocation somewhere in the 5%, maybe 20% range, depending on risk tolerance and time horizon. Personally, I keep my allocation below 15%. It also fits particularly well inside of a tax-advantaged account where you can let the long-term compounding play out without worrying about short-term volatility or tax consequences along the way. On the flip side, SMH isn't for everyone, and that's important to be honest about. If your priority is income, this fund will fall short. If large swings in value causes stress, second-guessing, or emotional decisions, this fund can be difficult to stick with. And if you're chasing recent performance without understanding how cyclical the semiconductor industry really is, SMH can punish that behavior quickly. This is a fund that rewards patience and conviction, not excitement or short-term enthusiasm. Believe me when I say this, SMH works best when it's used with intention, not as a core holding, but as a strategic addition. Think of it as a growth accelerator, not the foundation of your portfolio. On its own, it can be volatile, but when paired with broad market exposure, value-oriented funds, or income-producing assets, it can add upside without forcing your entire portfolio to move in the same direction at the same time. The goal isn't to eliminate volatility. That's unrealistic. The goal is to build a portfolio that doesn't depend on one theme or one industry always being in favor. When SMH is sized appropriately, it can quietly contribute meaningful, long-term growth while the rest of your portfolio provides balance, consistency, and stability through different market environments. At the end of the day, SMH isn't about chasing the future. It's about understanding how the future actually gets built. Semiconductors sit at the center of innovation, but that doesn't mean owning them is always comfortable or straightforward. The real challenge isn't deciding whether chips matter long term, it's deciding whether you can stay disciplined when the cycle turns against you. Most investors don't struggle because their ideas are bad. They struggle because they underestimate how emotionally demanding good investments can be. The bigger takeaway here goes beyond SMH. If you can clearly explain what role an investment plays, what conditions it needs to succeed, and what kind of pain you're signing up for along the way, you put yourself in a much stronger position. Investing stops being reactive when expectations are set correctly. And when expectations are grounded in understanding, not hype, you're far more likely to stay consistent, to make better decisions, and let time do what it does best. Now let me know, are semiconductors a long-term position in your portfolio, or do the swings keep you on the sidelines? Let me know in the comments. I read every single one. Now if you found this video eye-opening, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who you think needs to hear it. And if you want more practical, no-nonsense advice on building wealth and securing your financial future, then check out this video here. And also, please make sure to subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.